11 Tactical. Now, this one is not brand new. I bought it used, and it's sort of jury rig held together right now, but if you buy one new, you won't have to worry about that. But I won't be using the Hop-Up app again to buy anything. Period. Not at all. So let's get started. So when you purchase your pistol, you'll get it in this nice, cool little pretty plain box that basically gives you a bunch of statistics on the front, which I usually ignore. The gun does chrono at about 300 to 350 FPS, so it is CQB legal. Has a standard 14 plus 1 round capacity, which comes with the one standard 14 plus 1 round mag, and is powered by 12 gram CO2. Now, things you're going to want to keep when you buy this pistol, just in case, you're going to get a warranty card. You're going to get an ad that says, what's in your mag from Elite Force, and Elite Force BBs is pretty much what I love to run because they're cheap and they're reliable. I don't recommend, I haven't used Vulcan BBs in forever because every time I have, they've either just been not great or they have messed up my gun. So when you pull the pistol out of the box, depending on the color you get, this is the Wolf Gray model. Now, I had this exact same pistol stolen from me back in October, and I just got a new one. Well, it's sort of new. It's used. As you can see, it's missing the left side safety, and this is not the Elite Force approved pin. It is actually a Magpul foregrip piece that I have actually put on this just for the sake of doing the video. On the front of the gun, you'll have a Picatinny rail segment for your flashlights, lasers, all that tactical stuff. And on the front is a negative 14mm counterclockwise threading for your muzzle brakes or suppressors. Personally, mine, I like to run this compensator on it because it looks fantastic. I'm going to be getting a black slide from my buddy, so it's going to be two-tone silver and black. They did just release 2 or 3 new models of the gun. One of which is stainless, comes with fake wood grips. The other one is all black, which I've been asking for since I first picked one of these up a year and a half ago. I've went through 3 of these. First one I sold to a kid who wanted a pistol, and he had lost his pistol at a game, so I sold it to him for 50 bucks. The second one I bought got stolen. That was in October. And this is number 3, so let's hope number 3 lasts longer than the other 2. A couple of things to keep in mind when you're using this pistol is these are going to be lifesavers. Keep these on hand. Though with most magazines, I have found that these mags you can get usually 3 to 4 full magazines out of one CO2, which is really great. Now they come in 2 different styles of magazines. One costs 30, the other costs 35 to 40, depending on where you're at. So you can either go for absolutely long, because if 15 is not enough for you, hopefully 28 will do the trick. And slap it on the gun. Let's see here. Let's see. There we go. Mine is a little bit dirty because the previous owner didn't care for it, so I have to clean this thing up and tear it down and clean it up. If you rock the extended magazine, it doesn't really hang out that much compared to other extended pistol magazines that I've seen, which I like. It still keeps a relatively low profile, but I have had so much fun with this extended mag. I actually had another extended mag before my pistol setup got stolen back in October. So to the guy who stole this exact same pistol from me, whatever. But both the mags take 12 grams CO2. Only difference between them is capacity, but usually you can get maybe, I think at most I've gotten 3 mags out of this 1 12 gram CO2 cartridge. Only 3, compared to 4 to 5 out of this. So usually I end up running more of these than I do of these, because I have 1 of these, and I have literally 3, I think, of these. So that's 15, 30, 45 rounds of pistol ammo. Right there. Literally for all these mags, it's like 150 bucks. It's ridiculous. It's a bit expensive, like 125 bucks. It's a bit expensive, but this thing has not failed me. I've never had one of these break or anything. The only thing you need to keep in mind is you need to constantly keep them lubed, or the CO2 will start leaking out the top. Elite Force sells rebuild kits for these magazines. They sell rebuild kits for the uppers. They sell rebuild kits for the lowers. They sell rebuild kits for everything you need. If it breaks, it can be fixed relatively cheaply. And they'll send you the parts to do it for 20 bucks. I'm still waiting on my buddy to send me his 1911 TAC parts gun so I can mainly salvage the safety and this body pin, and mine will be back to factory specs. Now, in order to take down the gun, there's going to be a slide lock pin here, which I'm just going to take this out because this isn't the actual slide lock pin, as I said. And there's going to be a pin that's in this hole. When the slide is locked back after the magazine is empty, the slide will lock back, and the pin will match up right here, causing the slide to lock back. In order to take the slide off of the gun, you want to take the pin where the notch is, and you're going to want to line it up with this. This first little notch right here. This little shallow divot. Once you have that lined up, push the pin out from the right side of the gun, and the slide will just slide right off. No big deal. At this point, it's pretty easy to tear it down, clean it, lube it, and put it back together. I've had mine dropped in the snow, in the sand, in the dirt, in the mud. Pulled it right back out and started shooting. Haven't had any problems with it. These things are notorious for being unkillable. And even if you do somehow manage to break it, parts are plentiful and cheap directly from Umarex. And I love their customer support because they are a group of guys that are really cool and genuinely care what you're calling about, unlike some airsoft companies that I've talked to. To put it back together, basically follow the same steps in reverse. Put it back on, put the slide back on, slide it back, put the notch back in, adjust it to where it's like this, so the notch is lined up with the hole, slap the pin back in, and let it go. Easy peasy. But mine, I don't have that function right now due to reasons. I don't have the parts. So what I have to do is I have to pull my slide all the way back, get my little mag pull pin through here, and then screw this little nut on the end of the bolt to keep my slide on. Now I'm not going to field it like this because that would just be ridiculous. This is just to keep it in one piece and together so it doesn't get dirty just sitting in half. Some of the other things you're going to get when you get this gun is you're going to get an Allen key. Don't lose this. Do not lose this. I have two different Allen key sets that are multiple Allen keys in one little plastic thing, and none of them work with the magazine. So protect this with your life. If not, just call Elite Force and they'll probably just send you another one for free. I have 3 of these. Don't know why I didn't give this one to the kid when I sold him the gun. I should probably reach out to him because I still have his information, but that's got to go to him. But these, I usually keep one at home, and I keep one with me at the field. So that way, if I lose the one at the field, I still have the backup. And then if I lose the backup, I still have backup number 2. Honestly, this gun has some of the best recoil feeling for a gun of its price that I've ever owned. This thing costs about $124.99, depending on where you go. If you can get them on sale for like $100, $105, $110, do it. At that price point, that is more than worth it. I see these in so many holsters, it's not even funny. I saw, let's see, when I was at Apollo Rising in October of last year, I saw 8 different M1911 tacticals between the enemy team and our team, one of which was mine, which was this one. Not exactly this one, because the one I had was stolen, but it speaks for how many people actually put this in their holsters and use them at games. It's CQB legal. It can hit 100, 150 foot shots, easy peasy. I recommend .25s or .28s through it. And there have been so many fields that have said that this thing is an absolute monster of a gun. For reference, for number 1 is Balahack Airsoft. This thing has been through the swamps of Balahack. These guns have. And Swamp Sniper swears by them. He also swears by I think it's the ASG CZ75 P01 Shadow, which he had left in a swamp for 4.5 weeks. It was sitting like this in his rig. He ran away. He went to run away from a gunfight, and it flew out. And he found it 4 weeks later, pulled it right out of the water, and then started shooting it. These two pistols are fantastic. Now, you don't have to run a muzzle brake on the front. You can run a suppressor and a flashlight and basically make a Battlefield 3 reference, the M1911 S-TAC, which I have done. But when my pistol got stolen, my suppressor got stolen too. Makes me really upset. The more I think about what I lost at that game, the more upsetting it is. I lost the battle belt, my drop leg unit, but now my buddy actually ended up buying me a new battle belt setup, which we will go showcase right now. Because I have nothing better to do today. I'm literally stuck at home waiting for the car company to come repossess my blue Focus. Just waiting for them to do it already. Because I told them last night to come get it. But that's a different story for another video. And we'll tap into that after they're done probably taking me to court to try and garnish my non-existent wages. So it'll be fun. So much fun. Like bundles and bundles and bundles of fun that will literally create some very funny moments. Or very frustrating moments, depending on how it goes. Alright. There we go. Set this down. So this is a Condor Tactical OD Green Battle Belt Large. Now this is a Molly Battle Belt that when I got given it by my buddy for my birthday, he didn't realize that it needed a web belt or an H-style harness to function, which is what these little loops are on the top, so it'll attach to the H harness. Now when I go to use it, I'm just going to zip tie it to my my plate carrier. And there's two buckles on each. There's one buckle on each side right down here near my waist. I'm just going to zip tie it into those cloth straps and it'll be fine. Don't have to worry about it falling off. But for the time being, I put a dress belt in it. And it works just fine. So if you don't have a web belt, but if you've got a regular old belt laying around, have no fear. You should be okay. Just to show you that I am being completely sincere on this, I have nothing against Condor, but I would have loved to see that the product review on Amazon said it required a mesh belt, a mesh web belt, or an H-harness to function. You can just... It's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere at all. See? Stays on there. So on the battle belt, I've got a triple pistol pouch set up at the moment. This is a double, and then there's a single, which usually I have a speed loader in, but I put pistol mags in it now because reasons. On the right side, on my dominant hand here, is the perfect spot for my new Condor VT vertical holster, which is on the belt. Love this holster to death so far. I haven't fielded it yet, but I have high hopes for it. On the back here, there is a small sheath holding my Cold Steel steel-style training knife. Now, it is in sort of an awkward position because it is kind of awkward to put it in and pull it out from this position. So I'm probably going to end up adjusting it at some point. It's probably going on the left side because there's nothing here. But the problem with that is that this holster, that the sheath for the knife is not a Molly sheath. It is a loop sheath. So I have to put it through a belt. Which means that A, I have to find a new sheath, or B, just not run a knife. At this point, it's purely for aesthetics, not for tactical use, because my field does not like melee weapon kills. I'm going to try and talk to him about that this season, because if it's something manageable like that, easy peasy. And it's not like I'm going to run around and just, you know, Soap McTavish you and throw this knife at your forehead. No, it's not how you use that. At any rate, guys, if you want to check out any of the gear, check out evike.com, Airsoft GI. The Condor stuff can be found on Amazon at a decent price. But at any rate, this has been Vix with Lobo Gaming. And I've got some other stuff to do, so I will see you guys in the next live stream. Peace out.